Okay guys, in this video we want to work towards the beginning of enemy robots. And I first want to play around with explosions a little bit just to show you that they should be able to knock you back. And right now they have very little knockback effect because I weighed myself as like the average adult male or something. So I need some force to knock me back. But if I go into the explosion prefab and set this guy to like 500, he's going to have a little knockback power now for pushing bigger objects around. See? And this is especially true. I set myself to no drag if I was in the air. And so if you're in the air, you really can get pushed back by a bomb. That's fun. So remember, the maze has super high like collider walls, so no one's going to get pushed out of the maze. We can have fun with that. Great. Let's bring in Robot Kyle, who's going to be the asset for our enemy. And that is easily found underneath the asset store. You've probably downloaded them before. I know I have. So I'm going to go fetch him in here under my downloads. Robot Kyle. Not Robot Lab, but Space Robot Kyle. There he is, Space Robot Kyle. Import. Import. I like Robot Kyle. I use him a lot. He's a fine model to work with. You've got the prefab right here. I'm going to dump that into my scene. Where'd he go? There he is. Let's move him forward in front of the camera a little bit, maybe even 4. There he is. He is, by default, looks like he's configured with the legacy animation system. So if you go here back to the prefab, you can probably say rig as a humanoid instead of legacy. And that is going to give us a robot that is ready for a robot controller and things like that. We're also going to need some basic animations, and I think I have some posted on D2L. Right, the basic animations are on D2L. They're right here under the characters standard asset package. You scroll down, you'll find animation under third party, and it's got a humanoid idle and a humanoid run, which is all I want. I'm going to bring those in. They should fit just fine on Robot Kyle. So Robot Kyle needs an animator controller. Right here in the Robot Kyle folder, I will create, well, you know what? I'm going to create it under my asset since it's kind of my thing. Create animator controller. This is Robo-Anim. I'm going to hook him up to Robot Kyle. There he is. And we're going to create a couple states. The first one will be called idle. And sure enough, it'll use that humanoid idle animation. Hit play. There he is. He's just idle. What happens if I hit him with a bomb? It's the first question anyone should ask. I guess I gotta aim it kind of right, eh? And that might be really difficult, but it's pretty clear to me that the bombs are passing right through Robot Kyle. Yeah. So, right. Robot Kyle needs physics. He's going to need to be able to be blasted around. But how? Why? What do we want? Let's start with this. If I add a component, physics, rigid body, then I want the AI, the nav mesh agent AI, to be moving him around. So I better set this to kinematic. Start with that. That means that at least bombs won't pass through him. in theory, but he's missing a collider. So then we're going to add a physics capsule collider to Robot Kyle. Let's see, where are you, Robot Kyle? There you are. Your capsule collider is off center, which is no surprise, and it's also not nearly tall enough. Now we've got a capsule collider for Robot Kyle. Let's try that. There it is. Bounced one right off his head. And it didn't move him. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because later we're going to build a ragdoll effect. But when he moves, the rigid body will allow him to kick around bombs, which will just increase the fun. Now for moving Robot Kyle. Robot Kyle needs to be a nav mesh agent, and we have to have a nav mesh. We better calculate that. I'm going to save my scene. And I'm going to do some stuff that needed to be done a long time ago anyways. I'm going to set all this maze stuff to static. Yes, change the children. Okay, all that stuff is static. What else needs to be static? The floor needs to be static. And once I see that all this is done, I'm going to go to the window navigation. And yeah, this is the walkable area. Let's see, all the walls, by the way, are not walkable. Yeah, let's see what this does. My computer is already pretty upset. There is the nav mesh. It only took a moment to calculate. I'm pretty happy with it. Those are all the little meshes where these guys can move. Yeah, sure, great, good work. Let's see what happens when I make Robot Kyle a, let me go back to the inspector. Let's add a nav mesh agent to him. Nav mesh agent. And let's start our enemy controller. So add new script, enemy controller. And as you might guess, I'm going to, where did it go? Where is the enemy controller script? Dude, it's gotta be somewhere. There it is. My assets is where I want it. All right, enemy controller, here we go. We gotta tell him to go somewhere. We're gonna tell him to go to some waypoint. Pretty easy. We have all these waypoints. And they're all tagged. Waypoints equals GameObject.find GameObjects with tag. They're tagged with the name waypoint. And look at them all. Okay, each and every one of them has the waypoint tag. So then we can tell him to navigate to a random one by doing something like this. Let's make sure we have his nav mesh agent. Nav mesh agent space agent. Agent equals get component nav mesh agent. And then let's see. We need a random waypoint, so I'm going to say int r equals random dot range. Anything from 0 to waypoint dot length. Is that random dot range function inclusive? What's it say? Inclusive if you use floats. If you use ints, it's inclusive, exclusive. Okay, good. So here it is, agent dot set destination to be some waypoint at random index r dot waypoint sub r dot transform dot position. I don't know why my autocomplete went away. There it is. Okay, so when I hit play, dude should just kind of slide around to a random waypoint. Good times. Well done. Great. Great. Pretty happy with that. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, I'm going to try and animate him real quick. We'd started the animator controller, but we didn't actually make everything happen. Robot Kyle has a animator controller. He's got idle. He needs a new state called run. A new state's name is run. It has the animation humanoid.run. And we need to basically do transition from idle and transition back to idle. And we're going to need some parameters. Parameter Boolean. Is it time to run? We'll call it is running. Okay. Set these up. They're not based on exit times. They're based on whether or not is running is true. That goes from idle to run. Not based on exit time, but based on whether is running is false. That brings you back to idle. Robot Kyle has an animator. So you animator space anim. Get component animator, animator, right? I'm not crazy. Robot Kyle has one of these things. Animator. Cool. And so here I can say, hey, anim.setBool is running. And we're going to set that true based on the agent.velocity.magnitude greater than 0. I mean, it's just a first pass, right? But basically, if the agent's moving, he's going to show his running animation. We might do better later, but on the other hand, we got to keep the video moving. There he goes. He's animating. I'm telling you, he animated. Now, as far as arriving at his destination, I'm not too impressed with Robot Kyle. This is something we'll have to look into. Robot Kyle. Why is it so hard, man? Let's try this again. Where are you going this time, Robot Kyle? All right, he's kind of circling. He's not able to get exactly where he wants to go. We'll try and fix that. It turns out that's a very easy fix, and it's me being stupid. You only want one thing driving a character at any point in time. I had apply root motion checked. I turned that off so the animator doesn't move the robot. Just like rigid body has to be kinematic, we don't want the physics engine moving them. We don't want the animator moving them. We want the nav mesh agent moving them. So now Robot Kyle picks a random place, and he goes there, and he's animated. And he goes straight there. Fantastic. That's the end of the basics of getting Robot Kyle in the game and moving.